Hello and welcome to your in-depth weekly horoscope for week commencing the 15th of May. This is for the Sun or the Ascendant. I'm going to give you an overview that we can all relate to collectively, but please stay with me. I will then explore each of the 12 zodiac signs from Aries through to Pisces in much greater detail. Now, as this week begins, so Mercury starts to go forwards. It went retrograde on the 21st of April. If there have been strands of your situation that have felt rather frustrating, have got bogged down, there's been misunderstandings or those inevitable glitches that we get with Mercury retrograde, it wouldn't be a surprise. But Mercury retrograde in Taurus is very specifically around financial matters, but also around our sense of values and self-worth. So it's been an opportunity to try to tighten up in those areas, but also work on making sure that we validate who we are. Now that process is given a huge boost, a further boost on Tuesday, because Jupiter, the planet of growth and expansion and excitement, moves into the sign of Taurus to join up with Mercury, the Sun, and the North Node and Uranus. And it's going to be here through to the 25th of May 2024. So a huge journey is set to unfold. Now I think what we're going to see is some initial improvements. They may not seem particularly significant in our overall financial picture because there's been such a headwind that's been running for the last year, which really accelerated from that lunar eclipse on the 8th of November last year, which really was challenging for the overall economic environment. But we are going to see some improvements, bits and pieces. There may still be some creeping up in terms of interest rates, but I think this is the beginning of a much brighter period. But Jupiter is challenged by Pluto, so when we are thinking about our longer term future, we do have to balance our idealism with our realism. Now Friday also sees a new moon in the sign of Taurus, so another good news story. This is supported by Mars. When Mars is feeding into a new moon, the energy and drive of Mars, this time in Cancer, a feeling sign, is linking well with the earthy energies of the new moon. You can see below for my deep dive on the Taurus new moon, but it's a new moon with lots of promise because the moon is exalted in the sign of Taurus. This is its second favourite location, and it's very much to do with stability, but it's encouraging us to find ways to try to make our lives more secure and grounded, perhaps by being a bit more thrifty, a bit more imaginative, working things around in terms of existing resources the best we can. But as the week draws to a close, it's a more social set of influences that really start to develop. Mars punching into the sign of Leo on Saturday, where it will be through to July the 10th. This is really exciting. Wonderful for performance, for demonstrating our talents and our creativity. But on Sunday, as the Sun speeds in to the sign of Gemini, the Sun and Mars continue their excellent alliance that did encompass that new moon, but in two new signs. And of course, the Sun moving into Gemini is about air, it's about communication. So I feel that we're going to see a lot of sluggishness that's been really prevalent over the last 3 weeks make way for a lot of thrust-in energy by the end of this week. Also, the Sun's forging an exciting link to Pluto in the sign of Aquarius, the Sun in Gemini. So in general, a lot more communication is going to be arcing backwards and forwards, but in a very transformational way. So I think after a year of what has been quite a brutal time financially, there are going to be a few hopeful signs, but that will become much more obvious in the weeks and months to come. But as this week draws to a close, it's an opportunity to get together with others, to socialise, to connect, share ideas, and be a lot more bubbly. If you're a returning visitor to my channel, thank you so much for joining me once more. If you're new here, I'd be honoured if you would subscribe. Please click or tap on the bell notification symbol. Also, if you'd like to get your free daily horoscope fired to your device each morning, please see the link below. So Libra, your week commencing the 15th of May forecast suggests that it would be unlikely, if you haven't been feeling a degree of sensitivity or tension around where you're most invested in your life. Now that could be around your career, it may be around your social situation, your interests, or even a partnership. But the 8th house is deep, and Mercury going direct on Monday is going to give you some information that will bring a huge sense of relief, particularly if you've been waiting for some important documentation that is to do with financing, an investment, a legacy. I feel that things will speed up. But Jupiter's arrival in this sector on Tuesday suggests that if you've got even a grain of entrepreneurial spirit in your nature, you've got a great chance to use it over the following 12 months. This particular influence, or this transition, last happened in 2012. If you think back to then, it will give you a bit of an idea of how things can expand for you, which is what Jupiter supports over the next 12 months. But it does clash with Pluto in your 5th house of romance, and it is possible that almost immediately you could encounter someone who does make your pulse race, but maybe the temptation or magnetism of this tie needs to be countered around understanding why your desires are being activated to quite that level. Now, the new moon, which occurs on Friday, just speeds up this whole process, but brings in the energies of Mars. Now, Mars for the last 6 weeks has been giving you a lot of extra leverage and an ability to increase the awareness that others have about your talents. But of course it's on the cusp of moving on Saturday into the sign of Leo. But this link between the new moon and Mars just suggests that if you show self-confidence in what you're trying to achieve, but particularly around financial or business matters, you have a great opportunity over the following month to really power things forwards. But as ever in life, it's not just what we know, it can be very valuable in terms of who we know or how we network with others. And Mars moving into Leo for 6 weeks through to July the 10th is going to be the beginning of a period when your powers of diplomacy are going to be supremely important to your overall progress in life. I think I can safely say that you're in for a very sociable summer. And also the Sun's move on Sunday into your sister air sign of Gemini is all about expansion. So after all the intensity, perhaps even a little bit of heaviness that you may have been experiencing in recent times, as this week draws to a close, I feel that you'll be in the mood to widen your horizons, to be much more outgoing, join in with people, and if you have had a little bit of time away from being perhaps more engaged in your social situation, I think it's really going to come back into focus in a powerful way. So some big transformations are possible this week, but I also think a lot of clarity is going to start to see events falling into place in a way which makes a lot more sense. Now, if you would like to ascend above this zodiac broadcast and understand how serious astrology can help guide your future, if you give me 3 pieces of personal birth data of time, date and place of birth, I can produce for you your life roadmap report. This will help you to gain much a much closer understanding of the patterns that have been playing out in your life thus far, but also capitalize on opportunities more effectively, but also deal with some of the challenges better. But also within my special package of 30% off, you can get your 12-month personal forecast. This will give you searing insights as to what to expect in the months to come. If you don't know your time of birth, please give me your date and place, and I can produce for you my solar package based on the sun. And if you enjoy relating to zodiac forecasts on YouTube through your sun, these will make perfect sense. And just like my other package, there is 30% off if you buy the forecast too. Please see the link below for more.